Hello, and welcome to the 15th installation of the RSG Podcast. My name's Ryan Easted, and to my right is Mr. Watson.
Literally no one can believe we're still doing this.
Right. 15
Including
episodes.
Right.
No one watches, but hey, we give the people what they want, right?
Right.
What people? What people?
And that is Mr. Connor.
Hello.
All right, we're going to go ahead and start off with a few things to talk about today. One of course, Game of Thrones, now that the season's over. But first we're going to start off with League of League.
Yes. League of League.
League. Yeah.
You guys ready to call it a day yet?
Apparently I don't know what I'm doing.
Surrender to my awesomeness?
You.
Surrender to my awesomeness, whatever.
I don't think getting lucky counts.
I'm Kaiju Jesus, guys.
Kaiju Jesus.
I am an unstoppable machine. I'm a monster of epic proportions. You cannot combat me.
I don't feel like being lucky counts as awesomeness.
Bro, in the light of fantasy sports, that is the only thing that counts as awesomeness.
You know what? I'm gonna just have to defer to your judgment on that one because I don't play enough fantasy sports to know.
All I play is fantasy football also, in a league similar to this with my family.
Uh-huh.
And I'm pretty good at that too. Because
Last time you won.
I'm lucky. Oh, you know what, actually? I
paper.
have never won.
Oh, yeah. Shut your whore mouth.
Well, fantasy football kind of sucks because the playoffs for fantasy football are always like the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season. And so I'll end up with a team that's good, and they'll crash, they'll be awesome the whole season through. Then in the playoffs, I'll lose because they'll be sitting all my starters. And I'm like, God damn it.
Well, I don't really know how the championship works for this. I assume it's probably the same because a lot of teams won't be playing come the championship game.
Well, my guess is that whatever, near the end of the season, we'll have the playoffs for our league. But it won't be different for our league because we have a 4-man league. So,
right.
Everybody gets in the playoffs pretty much. Even
we're all winners here, guys. We're all winners. Whatever.
I'm going undefeated this season, dude.
You think so, huh?
No, you're not.
Undefeated.
No, you're not.
And League of League play.
Listen. The fact that you the most of your team is Fnatic, and the fact that they did so well last week was a fluke.
Undefeated in League of League play.
League of League.
I'm calling it right now.
We'll start calling you Fluke.
Undefeated.
That's right. New nickname.
What would you name your team? Fluke.
Fluke. I don't care what you call it as long as it's undefeated.
The undefeated.
Feel free to name it whatever you want in your jealousy. I get that. I do.
Dude, if you're gonna go undefeated,
impotent rage because your team's ineffective.
It's very effective, sir. Very effective.
Really? It doesn't seem that effective.
Let's
go back to the week 3 numbers, because it didn't seem very effective in week 3. Is all I'm saying.
They were just getting warmed up, bro.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what's going on. It didn't seem like that, bro.
Well, you wouldn't know what it seems like, because you don't watch the damn game.
When you got beat by 54 points, did it seem effective to you?
Ooh.
When I scored 25% again, as many points as you scored?
Like one player.
125% of your points is what I scored.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. 125% of your points.
Well, it's not like impressive number, sir. Like 100% is basically going even, so it's not like 125% is like some amazing thing.
Beating you by 25% is pretty impressive, sir.
Nah, it's not that impressive.
Look, man, it is. Kayleen only beat Ryan by 10% of his score. I doubled that. Plus some more.
That's like still not that impressive.
Yeah.
Unless you're beating somebody by like over 50%, like 152%, that's impressive.
That's impressive. Wow. You sir, are a jaded man.
That's impressive. I'm not jaded, I'm just realistic.
Realistic.
Not impressive.
Kids in your games.
Bro. Like the Miami Dolphins, you'll like go undefeated this year, but then like do nothing else for the next 40 years.
That's
happened.
fine with me. And you know what else? Because those dudes are still living off their glory.
They really are.
They get in the news every year still.
I know.
Like when the last teams are undefeated, they still get in the news every year.
Yep, it's true.
So I can live with that, bro. I am just fine resting on my
I think
laurels.
there's far less glory though in being the fantasy version of the Miami Dolphins in a video game.
Well,
It's not. There's far less. You're not going to get news.
Bro, I am not the fantasy version of the Miami Dolphins in a video game.
Marino.
I'm the fantasy version in a fantasy league about a video game. Okay?
Okay, well,
Not even that cool.
well,
You just
I will
set
take
that in
that
my
for
head, dude.
taking it down a few more notches for me.
Right. I'm just saying.
Uh,
However, I should note that I did beat Kayleen by 200% last week.
Way to beat on a girl.
Is that good enough to be impressive?
it was okay. It was about 200%. That's true.
Ryan, are you saying that girls can't be good at games?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying way to beat on a girl. Just saying.
Like maybe she's less than me because she's a girl. That's fucked up.
No, that's not what I said. It is not at all.
That
what I
is
said.
what you implied.
No, I believe that's what you wanted me to
Bro.
imply.
I am getting tired of your sexism. Okay.
What?
Listen, just like this league, Roby just believes whatever he wants to believe, right?
Undefeated, bro.
And he also believes you're sexist, even though he's.
Undefeated.
It's like he punched a girl in the face and turned around and was like, "Dude, quit being sexist."
I was
Why'd you let me
undefeated.
do that? Yeah.
Dude, I beat Kayleen by 200%, and one of my guys took the week off.
Oh, that's messed up.
I think your sub was in, wasn't he?
No, like Xiao Wei Xiao. Sorry, he didn't take the week off. He technically played, but not really.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
He phoned it in.
Your top, okay,
Right.
just to show how inconsistent you are, and how lucky you actually are. Zhao Wei Zhao, your top scorer
Bro.
for week
It's
week
not-
3. No, listen. Your top scorer for week 3 comes in and performs miserably this week at a mere 19 points.
No, he got 15.45 points total.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was less than that. I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And you know why
literally
that
a fourth, to put this 25% back into perspective here, a fourth of what you got last week.
Correct. And you know why that is?
And that's why 25% isn't that impressive. 'cause
Take
it's
a break this week because last week you did so well.
That's not how it works.
The rest of the week,
It's
the rest of
not
the team
like
picked
these
it up.
guys are running up 100,
Xiao Wei Xiao took a break, man.
up a field
Took a
or
break.
something. Not a break.
I told him, look, bro, it's cool. You did your work last week. Take a break.
Dude, sitting down and playing the
Rest
game is the break for these guys. These are video game players. Sitting down and playing the game is a break from having to get up and go to the kitchen occasionally. That
Right.
is break.
Hot pockets. Oh, well, we can move on from League because you guys
Right.
are.
I get the feeling we're not going to be talking about it much because I'm going to continue to stomp all over you guys, and it's not even going to be close.
Not gonna.
Anyways, we went and saw Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Yes, we did.
Edge of Tomorrow. I really enjoyed Edge of Tomorrow. I did. I thought it was really good.
Like most movies these days, I enjoy them for the most part, and then we get to the end, and I'm like,
Why? Yep. Which obviously was the case in this movie.
why?
Spoiler alert. You can't reset one day, then reset 2 days just because you got
Well-
bigger blood on you. But
Look, the more I talk about the explanation that they put forward for the time travel, the more I'm like, none of this movie made any sense.
it's
And
a
so
movie about an asteroid.
I've
Alien.
sort of given up talking about it.
Wait, are you talking about none of the movie made any sense because the ending was so crap, or in general it made no sense?
Well, look, the more you start thinking about like the time change, like at the end, they basically took everything that you already knew about how everything worked and said that's not how it works.
Exactly.
Right. Which, I mean, honestly, if there was more to how it works, that's fine. But you don't. I mean, you don't spend an entire movie entrenching this is how it works into the viewer's mind, and then just
Right.
go back
Repetitively, like literally repetitively.
Yeah.
This is how it works, and then all of a sudden at the end, that's not how it works. So we can have a happy Hollywood ending, and Tom Cruise can try and court Emily Blunt.
Yeah, I would be a
whatever her
little
name
bit
is.
Blount. Yeah, I would be a little interested to see what some of the alternate endings would be, like on the director's DVD.
Bro, they have it in there, right? There's only one ending to this. Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
His body
Floating.
floats slowly down to the bottom. Credits.
Yeah.
Maybe if you want to show the general, like, triumphantly, marching across the beaches or whatever, and like, oh, we won, blah, blah, fine. But
Well, they already showed
one real ending to this.
They already showed all the creatures like go all super hard mode.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the annoying thing to me was that they went the extra length to screw the movie up in the end. They couldn't just reset it one day again at the end, right?
Right.
Because things are still not good. He's still like a deserter bastard. He, takes off. Becomes like an extra deserter bastard.
Right.
So you can't. They couldn't go back just one day, because things aren't great still.
Yeah.
They literally screwed the whole concept even more just to make it go back 2 days just so they can have a happy ending.
Yeah. Which was craziness, really.
Yeah.
That being said, not a big fan of the ending. I love the way that they did handle the everyday starting over again.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was awesome.
I love that we didn't have to see the same thing over and over again all the time. Like, we got the hint. You get up maggot every time. 4 or 5 times in a row, we get the hint. He's tried this several times.
Right.
Or we just see like different battle scenes where he'd be like, we assumed he did all that other stuff or whatever, and he's trying different things.
Mm-hmm.
That was very interesting, I thought.
Yeah, it focused a lot on the crossroads when things changed.
Yeah.
From day to day, which was good.
Yeah. Now, and Emily Blunt's character I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I really liked Tom Cruise's character too. But I like that like the most badass warrior, was a woman. That was an interesting turn as opposed to what they normally do.
Yeah. It's the femship.
And she was fucking awesome.
Right. I thought it was I really liked the movie. It was actually less like Star Trek sci-fi and more Star Wars sci-fi than I thought it was going to be, but it was really good either way.
Yeah.
I kind of got more of a Starship Troopers vibe with it myself. And only in the sense that like there was this overwhelming swarm of a force that was just there to destroy. I really enjoyed it. Like I think it kind of stands on its own, honestly, aside from like those.
Right. It was more, but I think you're saying it's more actiony and less thinky.
Oh, okay. My fault.
Star Trek tends to be more thinky sci-fi. Star Wars tends to be more actiony sci-fi.
Right.
You seen the new J.J. Abrams installments, right?
The Star Wars movies? Yes, I've seen them.
Yeah, the new Star Wars movies. Exactly.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah.
The Republic movies.
Star Wars
Right.
prequel movies.
Yeah, I've seen them. I'm not a huge fan of either of them. I'm a bigger fan of the first one than I am of the second one, but
yeah, the second
that's a
one.
topic for another day.
We could go on and on.
Yeah. But I did really enjoy it. I thought it was really, really good. I thought the characters were pretty well done. This was like one of the best.
Bill Paxton, his character was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was awesome to see him come back into a movie because I only recently saw him in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show, and I do not like his character in that. I think his character is pretty terrible. But it was nice to see him play a funny jerk of a character that I think fits him to a T.
Did you finish the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No,
series?
I never got into it.
Oh, okay. Well, his character gets better.
Does it?
Does Agents
now
of S.H.I.E.L.D. get better? Because I've seen 2 episodes, and I was like, I want to watch this TV show.
I'll be entirely honest.
but
I didn't really think it was good until like episode 5 or 6.
Well, you guys heard what they're doing
It
now,
started
didn't
to
you?
get better. What?
ABC has greenlit Agent Carter.
Oh yeah. I'm not excited for that, to be entirely frank.
No, I'm not either. I don't really care how Agents of or how Shield got started. To be honest, I was happy with the explanation in the second Captain America movie. I don't need a television series on it.
Right.
Well, I just we've got an explanation how Shield was formed, who were the founding members, all that good stuff, and then like
Wait. Agent Carter, Agent Peggy Carter?
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Okay.
You didn't know this?
No, I didn't know this.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm not a fan. See, you have the exact same reaction I had for it. I'm like,
I don't know. Is she that popular of a? I guess.
I didn't think so.
Okay, listen, I enjoyed her bringing her back. Well, I shouldn't say that. Well, I enjoyed the closure they gave Captain America. I'll say that.
Right. Yeah, it was nice for him to get some closure.
Right. I don't know why that turned into a spinoff, that little bit there. I don't know if they were just like, oh, she's hot, let's have a whole new episode based around her, which would be, I don't know, a bit insulting if that's the case. But, well, for you, Ruby. But,
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you worrying about my sensibilities.
I know.
In this case, for the first time, possibly ever in the history of our relationship.
It's very possible. Very possible. But, or if they just decided that, like, this was the storyline, and that they feel like they needed to tell it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You mean money?
Money.
I guess, but it just doesn't seem to me like it's going to be that. I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know. I'm being very judgy about the whole thing, but
I mean, if they make it in like the early 40s time frame or whatever it was for Captain America, I think that would be kind of cool, having like an old series like that.
it is.
I mean, we've got Mad Men, which is kind of like that, which I enjoy because of the style and stuff, but I just really don't care about
I
Agent
don't
Carter.
think it would be that entertaining myself, but
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
anyway, we're way off topic right now.
Yeah, let's get back to Edge of Tomorrow.
The special effects Edge of Tomorrow were awesome. I thought I actually loved the aliens.
Yes, I did too.
I thought they were pretty badass, and I love that they were fully alien.
Yes.
They were in no way, shape, or form humanoid at all.
Right.
Right.
Even the way that they ran, like even when they stood there, they kind of resembled like a fire cat or something from the video game. But
Right.
when they charged at you, they rolled at you, and it was cool.
Yeah, they were all like tentacles and like just flowing matter, and it was awesome. I really enjoyed the aliens. I thought they did a great job on that.
I like how like the mouth would just agape constantly for those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I thought that was super cool. I'm like, that makes them more alien, more weird.
Right. Yeah. It's just because they're more weird. Yep.
And I really, really enjoyed the aliens. Really enjoyed.
I liked how they showed there was intelligence with the aliens too.
Yeah.
Like not just beasts that want to conquer the world. Like they actually have a plan. They can formulate. They can, do strategy and stuff like that.
Right.
Well, that goes into the plot line of the movie where the aliens aren't individuals.
Yeah. They're not individuals. They're all slaves to the Overmind.
I'm not even sure if they're slaves. It sounded the way they explained, and I don't know how literal we're supposed to like take it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The only explanation that we get in the movie is from, Emily's character and the other scientist guy, and they don't know. They're just piecing shit together from what they figure out.
Right.
Yeah,
So there's a bunch we don't know.
know what I mean?
Fast, yeah.
It was
Right.
pretty well corroborated at the end when the main core thing dies and they all just stop being.
Yeah,
Right.
they all die. Almost like they're drones.
It's not. Yeah, well, it's not like they're a hive mind per se, or like bees or something like that, or ants. Because you kill the queen, the hive continues on. But in this case, you kill the main core, and everything just stops working.
Right.
So it's almost like it's one entity with
Right.
several different hands out.
Right. That's the way they explained it in the movie.
Yeah.
And I liked it personally. I liked that. So
Yeah.
Yes, I did too.
thought it was pretty cool.
And I love that they set up a fake trap to like capture him someplace and try and bleed him back out and get their power back.
Right. How they kept him from dying and shit. Like knocked the grenades away first thing, all that good stuff.
Yep.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
It was
I
really
enjoyed that.
cool.
And
I
then they
mean,
had to ruin it all at the end.
yeah.
It was
Let's just pretend like the end
call
didn't
it what
happen
ending.
and it stopped when the bomb went off. Boom, boom, boom.
Right. And Tom Cruise's body floats to the bottom.
I mean, I would have liked to see
And
like
then we just skip to the general telling us about what happened.
right.
But
How they don't know what
then-
happened. Everything's
right,
just
but
dead.
Tom
They don't
Cruise
know why.
never wakes up, and Emily Blunt's not alive anymore. I like that it was basically just all about Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, we had those lovable scamps from J Squad, but they were nobody really.
Skips. I mean, they filled in, and when their time was needed, they were there.
Right, but I didn't feel like any emotion when the two of them stayed behind or whatever. Like, he's too injured to move, whatever, blah blah. I'll stay behind and buy you some time or whatever. Like,
Didn't care.
I didn't care about their heroic last stand or whatever, which I thought was also relatively ineffective.
Yeah. That's true. But then again, I mean, they've repeatedly shown in this movie that automatic weapon fire doesn't really do much against them. But if they all had shotguns,
Yes.
as we saw when he took 2 down with 2 shots, shotguns, the entire
Well, he
army
was
should
also
have
at
shotguns.
extremely close range.
Well, he was with
And
the suit of
that's
armor
not-
stuff too.
That's not always where you want to be with these guys, because
Well.
they're basically melee aliens.
Yeah, yeah, they really. Well, it's what I thought was really cool, like when it panned over the whole Normandy scene where they were like storming the beach. Which I really enjoyed how they did Normandy again. By the way,
Right.
for that. But
Yeah.
they like the creatures were in the ground. Like even when they were firing their projectiles at the enemies, they were still like in the ground.
Yeah.
And I thought that was awesome. So like, unless you saw where that was coming from, you really couldn't tell.
Yep. You really had no idea. You couldn't really counterfire and all that.
In general, the pacing for this movie was really excellent.
Yes.
They kept what the aliens look like, a secret long enough to keep you like interested. And then when they finally hit you with it, they really hit you with it.
Yeah.
Which I really liked, because they
Which is a
basically
a classic thing to do too. Like all the classic horror movies and stuff never really showed you the monster until like boom, there's the monster. Now he's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they basically kept the aliens pretty well secret throughout the entire like first like life and then death, out on the beach
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the most part, which made you like stay and want to see the second part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, really really good pacing. I think good writing as well.
I think they did a good job of showing also like what being alive that many times would do to you. Like when you restart every day, like in towards the beginning, he's trying to save all of the people that he knew, and then he just stops. He just goes through the motions because
Yeah.
he's over it at that point. He doesn't
Yeah.
care.
He doesn't try saving the lovable scamps from J Squad anymore.
Exactly. So
Yeah, yep, it's good stuff. It was good stuff. Well, and that's part of the reason why I really liked the movie is that there was some like trial and error and some interesting like maneuvers he pulls, as he's living out each day.
Yeah.
how he gets better too. Like when you first see him, he can't even walk in that thing without breathing heavy, and then towards the end he's like doing super awesome stuff.
Yeah.
So good stuff overall. But okay, let's move on to we're gonna go on to what, Game of Thrones?
Yes, let's move on to Game of Thrones. We have two
All
episodes
right.
to talk about.
We do.
I'm gonna hand the reins over to you, Ruby, on this one because
Yeah.
I think a lot of people who are gonna hear me go, I liked it, and then they're not gonna know why I shouldn't, and I think you should tell them.
Why they shouldn't. Let me tell you why your opinion is wrong.
Right.
This is something I'm good at. So, okay, so we had 2 episodes. Episode 9. Let's start there. And
Inigo Montoya.
no, that's episode 8, bro.
Was that 8? That was 8. Oh.
That was it. Episode
Sorry.
9 all happens at the wall. It is the
That's
battle,
right.
the battle
Castle
for the
Black.
wall, the Night's Watch.
Right.
The Night's Watch of Castle Black.
Which I love how they did an entire episode on it. Just saying.
Yeah. I'm a fan of the way it plays out in the book, which but I realized the pacing of the way that plays out in the book doesn't make for exciting, interesting TV. I get that.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really enjoyed episode 9 for the most part and what they did with it. They didn't have all the extra characters they needed, so they had to kill off some of John's friends who shouldn't be dead and who I'm kind of sad are gone, like Pip and
Yeah.
Gren.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoy that Sir Alistair kind of went out like a bitch. You know, he just like walked down and just got fucking fucked up, and he didn't even go out in a cool way. You know what I mean? He just got like chopped by some random dude.
Right.
Huh?
It wasn't even like any of the.
Right, it wasn't like Magnar or Tormund or Ygritte or something. Like, it was just some rando got him. You know, and I'm like, oh good, because Sir Alistair doesn't deserve anybody's respect. Get that guy out of here.
That's right. It's about time he's dead.
Right.
Jeez, Martin, come on.
Well, Sir Alistair wasn't even around at that point, but
True, he really wasn't.
I appreciate the fact that we saw how useless Janos Slint is,
Yes.
and
That
I'm
was
really
funny.
looking forward to fetching me a block when we get to that point, which will not happen yet. But and it kind of got a first taste of John as commander of the Night's Watch and what he might do and
Yeah.
how it might be, which is going to be important, I think, in the future.
It should have already been important, but
What's the deal with giving the wall to Dolorous Ed? They have made like Dolorous Ed in the book is comedic relief.
yeah.
Like he's around to be, he's like Marvin the Martian, or not Marvin the Martian, Marvin the Robot. If you've ever read like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or seen the movie,
I've seen it.
Marvin the Robot for Games of Thrones. Everything is like, oh, I might as well just go kill myself. Everything's so horrible, awful. He's that comic relief guy, but here in the show, he's a lot more of like a real person.
Yeah, he'll probably end up being like one of John's right-hand men.
Right. Which is sort of how it ends up in the book anyway, to an extent, but
Yeah.
his character is just very different in the TV show. Not necessarily in a bad way. You know?
Like, I know who you're talking about because you started off with why give him the wall, but
Right.
up to that point, I had no idea what his fucking name even was.
Right, he's just that guy who's always sometimes seen with Jon Snow.
Right.
Yeah. Like, in the vicinity of them. You know, honestly, until he said, Ed, you have the wall, I wasn't sure it was Ed.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what I didn't hear? He said his name. I didn't even realize.
Well,
He said
he
his-
realized that they were going to need help down at the base, so he put Ed and said, Ed, you have the wall.
Right.
Well, you know who Ed really is then, right?
The prince that was
Dario.
promised? He's
No,
Dario. He's Dario Naharis. Ed is Benjen. God, how come you guys don't know this?
Ed has been.
He's cold hands too.
Right?
Okay.
So, all right. But I thought it was an exciting episode.
Yeah, it was really action-packed. I
did the
really
drama
enjoyed
well.
the siege on the wall, yeah.
Yes, I love the CGI of the wildlings and the mammoths and the giants. And
Yeah.
the fighting was really good, I thought.
I love how that one giant arrow just, like, took that dude.
Yes, that was
Took-
awesome.
It took out the entire, like, little watch, like, I don't know, was it a little
Like a little
awning
tower
thing?
or whatever.
Yeah. Just took it all out.
Yeah, and kill the dude on the other side of the wall.
The
Yeah.
best. The
Yeah.
best part was, I think when they, like, released those big chain anchor things, and
Yes.
Yeah.
just chunked all the dudes that were climbing up the wall. That was
Yeah.
badass.
In the book, they have a saying called the wall defends itself.
Yes.
Because lots of times it gets warm and ice just calves off of it like an iceberg. And people who are climbing on it especially will get knocked off that way.
They
you know?
make it loose or something. I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
climbing a mountain, yeah.
So it's great. But yeah, that thing with the chains was awesome. They did a lot of stuff good in that episode. I really enjoyed it. I'll be interested to see what they're going to end up doing with the Gillies storyline and all that. Because they are far from where the book is at in that
Yeah.
regard.
Well, they're doing a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
stuff that's far from the book.
Yeah.
At this point, like, I mean, I haven't read all the books obviously, but the whole Jamie, just from what you talked about, just the Jamie Cersei storyline right now is just so far off track. It seems like.
the whole Lannister storyline in general is irritating me right now. Because, okay, episode 9, good overall, I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Close enough to the book, I give it approval. Episode 10, I'm a little hesitant on to approve. I liked a lot of the scenes that we saw, and I think we saw what we were expected to see, for the most part. Let's see, what all did we see? Arya and the Hound.
And
meet
Brienne
up
of Tarth,
with
which was
Brienne
weird.
of fucking Tarth. And they have a fight. The Hound and Brienne fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the most important... Okay, that fight scene was fucking sweet.
It was pretty cool, though.
It was.
It was very, like, brutal and ferocious and raw. And just, like, obviously a fight to the death. You know? They're using anything at their disposal. Like, Brienne's got a rock. She's just bashing the Hound in the head with it.
It ripped off his ear?
Right. Like, bit his ear off. She was crazy. It was crazy. So, and I appreciated that, because it was good. And, like, in the meantime, Pod's just standing around being Pod, and Arya slips away.
Mm-hmm.
Because Arya doesn't want to be rescued.
Nope.
While I enjoyed the fight scene immensely, and I always enjoy Arya and the Hound time, because it's always entertaining. Because Sandor's had, by far, the best lines of this entire season.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the best
Like how you
lines of this
started
whole
it.
season.
Fell off and just didn't finish it.
Well, I did, yeah. I don't know.
Bro, just say it, bro. Just say it.
I'm about to eat every cunt chicken in this house or something, yeah.
If you don't shut your mouth, I'm going to have to eat every fucking
That's
chicken
right.
in this inn. Yeah.
Couldn't chickens are. That's.
I don't know why I thought that was... Yeah. But,
Oh, man. But he's had some great lines, and Arya's learned some interesting lessons from him throughout the season.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with, because they kind of just, like, delayed Arya's storyline so they could end it nicely with the rest of them. I'm fine with that.
off to the city she goes.
Yes, off to Bravo she goes with her coin.
Valar Morghulis or something, yeah.
Valar Morghulis.
Valar Morghulis, that's right. As soon as she showed him that coin, dude was like, yep, all right, let's go.
Let's do it.
Cabin. Yep.
Yeah. So, that was good. We also did not see the Hound die.
True. Clegane Bowl, get hype.
Oh, well, okay, listen. To be specific, we see them save Gregor, or attempt to save Gregor, and you don't see the Hound die.
Yeah.
That just.
Well, that's as it is in the
you.
book.
Yeah.
I know you're saying it happens in the book, but it seems in the TV show it just seems pretty obvious the direction they're going with that.
Right.
At least to me.
Well, even if they don't bring the Hound back, even if the Hound is just dead, the undead Gregor is going to be a thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Regardless of whether the Hound comes back or not, undead Gregor is going to be somebody to be reckoned with.
The Queen's champion.
Yes.
Sir Robert Strong.
Yep. So that's going to be interesting to see. And it's interesting to see how they do that, too.
I like how that giant, syringe, she's like, oh,
Yeah.
he will be different. He's like stabbing him with a big syringe.
It was crazy.
And I love how they touched on the fact that he wasn't just dying from the wounds, but he's dying from the poison.
Yeah.
They really drove in that Oberyn knows his poisons.
Yep.
I would like to point out the one thing in this episode that really bothered me. I haven't read all the books, but just as a person watching the show, this particular point bothered me, and that's when Jaime finally releases Tyrion from prison and helps him escape.
Okay. Yes.
All right? Because
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that because
That's the most important part of the episode.
right. So we'll go over my not book reading noobness, and this is what happens. He releases Tyrion from prison. Tyrion is shown the way out. Looks at the door and goes, "Huh? You know what I want to go do? Confront the one man who put me here in the first place, so I could fuck up my escape." I don't understand why he did it. It didn't make any sense why he would go up to the room of the Hand of the King, up to that chamber. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. He just sort of randomly did it. Now,
Right.
since knowing this, I asked you about it, Roby, and you explained to me what actually happens in the book, and it makes far more sense.
Right.
And they just didn't do it at all in the show. And so him going up to the chamber just doesn't make, really doesn't make any sense. You just, your life was spared, you get the fuck out of town.
Right. And he's a smart guy. That's the smart move.
Right.
He's not like, it's not like he's a warrior where he's like, I can take it. I can kill the 6 guards that might be there and kill my dad and get out again. He knows he can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He knows he has no prayer if that's what it comes to. And he obviously wants to live, or he would have just stayed in his cell. So
Doesn't make any
going
sense.
up to, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But what happens in the book in reality is that there's another story behind Tyrion that you kind of hear about in season 2 a little bit with
Just a little bit.
Tysha, his first wife, so to speak, where like they basically rescue her from getting raped, and she falls in love with Tyrion, and the two of them get married at a drunken sept somewhere, and they have a Vegas wedding, so to speak, and
Yeah.
elope. And he's happy, and then his dad finds him, and he's having none of that. Even though he hates Tyrion, he absolutely will not have his house, slandered like that, with him being married to a peasant or whatever. So he tells Tyrion that Tisha was just a whore that they hired because they figured it was about time that he had a woman, and then he makes his whole barracks like pay her for sex, and then makes Tyrion go at the end, which really fucks up Tyrion.
Yeah.
It really fucks him up, which sets the stage for his character in general throughout the rest of his time in the books, because he's a guy who believes that he cannot be loved.
Yep.
And so in the end, when Jaime sets him free, they have a little heart-to-heart truth moment. This is going to be the end. We'll probably never see each other again. Let's get it all out on the table and see what there is. And he asks Jaime about it, and Jaime says, no, what happened? What you thought happened originally is what happened, and Father changed the rest of that. He made up the rest of that and took her away from you.
Which really just, with Tyrion,
Right.
that is not okay.
Right. It pushes him over the edge into the sort of like mentally unstable point of being where he would go and do something foolish, like go and confront his father about it. Which makes more sense than, well, his dad sentenced him to die even though he knew he wasn't guilty. You know what I mean?
He's known his entire life his father's wanted him dead. This is nothing new.
Right.
So, it's not enough for him to go up and kill it. It's enough for him to get the fuck out of town.
Right.
But
Because it would be more of a slap in his father's face based on the storyline for the show if he just disappeared.
Right.
So
It also makes him murdering Shay make more sense.
It does. Well, because the whole thing is, at this point, like, with the actual background story that Tyrion has, first things first, him attacking Shay and killing her was not self-defense in the book, as you said.
Right.
This does it because, but in the book, the entire time he knows that Shay doesn't actually love him. He still cares about her, but he knows in the back of his mind. And so when he hears
she's
this
just in it
story,
for the gold.
when he hears the story that Jaime tells him, it snaps, and all of a sudden Shay is just an absolute mockery,
Yes.
of his life, and so he kills her, just kills her.
Yep.
And this, it really sets up a better story. But they basically had to try and like merge Shay. Well, they didn't have to, but they did merge Shay and Tisha's storyline together.
Right. Which I don't think worked out very well.
No, I don't think so either.
Because none of Tisha's storyline is there, really. You know what I
Right,
mean?
true.
I don't know. It doesn't quite play out the same. And in the show, it was much more of like self-defense. Like Tyrion shows up and Shay immediately grabs a knife, which doesn't make that much sense. If nothing else, Shay can just run away.
Yeah.
It's not like Tyrion can run anywhere.
Right.
You know, it doesn't make any sense for her to grab a knife first thing. Like, she's afraid Tyrion's gonna do what?
Yeah.
Do
Choke
what?
her to
He's
death?
knee-high. What's he gonna do?
Choke her to death with
Well,
the
bro.
necklace.
Right.
I'm just
I
saying, he
was
does
kind
kill
of
her.
glad that they actually ended up choking her to death with the necklace, because that's how it was in the book.
Yeah.
And I was a little worried that they were going to do like a stabbing or one of those, like she fell on the blade. And he's like, oh no.
But in the book, it was such a better scene because in the book, rather than that pin that they have that the hand wears, they have a necklace made of golden hands. And Shay was naked in the bed wearing that necklace that clearly his father had given her. His father, who had been strictly forbidding that he have any whores, especially Shay, anywhere in King's Landing, and constantly made fun of him for whoring, was doing the exact thing he says he can't do behind his back in the Tower of the Hand where he said he couldn't do it.
Well, and with Shay, of all people.
Right, and with
Yeah.
Shay, who had just betrayed him. You know, I get it.
It broke him.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I get it too.
You know, and he just chokes her out with it, and then he, like, in the book, a bard had written a song about the two of them because Shay was constantly hanging out with bards all the time because, you know, whores and musicians, just whatever. They can't avoid each other. So, in the book, he recites the lines from the song, like, hands of gold are always cold, but a woman's touch is something else. But the hands of gold are always cold, is what he just says while he's choking her to death with this necklace all made of golden hands or whatever. And it was just like, you could tell how badly broken he was at that point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, the confrontation with Tyrion and his father, Tywin, was I liked it in the show. I thought they did a good job of. I mean, Tyrion told him not to say the word again.
Right.
I did.
Yeah,
I actually like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, let's
It
hear
was
it.
okay. It
Let
was
it out.
okay. It was okay. In the
Dude,
book,
if you're
though.
upset because he shot him twice, you can just jump off a cliff.
No, I don't. That doesn't bother me that much. I think like the shooting him once and then dropping the mic and walking away is much cooler. But whatever. I just wish he had a better second shot. Like it was like what, in the shoulder?
It was in the heart.
No, it was much more like the shoulder. But
It was the heart. That's why he died immediately after getting shot in the heart.
yeah. Anyway, in the book, again, there's the confrontation about Tisha between him and his dad. And so Tyrion goes and asks his dad, where did Tisha go? After what happened, where did she go? Because I think Tyrion wants to go and find her. I don't know what he wants, you know? It's been years. Is she still around? Who even knows? Like, you can look her up on Facebook or whatever, but he wants to know where did Tisha go? And his father says, I don't know, wherever whores go. Like, sort of offhandedly. Like, he's not taking Tyrion seriously. And that's when Tyrion shoots him. Because he's not a fan of that.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'm
that's
not saying,
sort
I'm
of
not
like...
saying that the scene in the book was worse, because obviously it was better because the setup for everything that happens there was better.
Right.
But that's because, I mean, you know, the storyline with Shay was a separate storyline from Tisha and not a mixed, you know,
Yeah.
mud of a story. I mean, that's the only reason why that scene was better, I think, in the book, because the setup in general was better. I think for what they did do in the series,
It was pretty good for what they did do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you saw Tywin, like, obviously I will tell you whatever it takes to get out of this situation where I'm imminently about to die.
Right, and yet he's still Tywin. He's still too proud to not to like actually listen to anything Tyrion says,
Yeah.
even after he shot him with a crossbow bolt.
Right. Yeah, even after he'd already proven that he will shoot you with the crossbow, he's still too proud to, to come down off his horse.
Right.
So I don't know. I enjoyed Tywin in the show. He's a different Tywin than Tywin in the book, but I think Charles Dance was a great actor, and I think he did a great job playing the Tywin in the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to miss him in future seasons. I'm going to miss the hell out of Sandor in future seasons.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss
he was
a whole
great.
lot of Sandor and Arya.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think the writers of the show have obviously proven that they are willing to change shit. So who knows?
Right.
What we're gonna see? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of speculation on. I visit both the Game of Thrones and Song of Ice and Fire subreddits fairly frequently.
Nerd.
And there's
Nerd.
oh my god, don't say mean things about me. I'm sad. But there's a lot of speculation as to what's going on. One of the biggest complaints about this week's episode was about an omission. Lady Stoneheart from the storyline in general.
Right.
And because
She's a thing now.
everybody likes them some Lady Stoneheart. You know?
Because
Because
she's like the cool version of Caitlyn Stark.
Yeah, yes, she's the less whitey version of Caitlyn Stark. And she's the vengeance that we want for the Stark family.
Right.
You know? She's that vengeance that we want. We want them to get back for the Red Wedding. We want them to get theirs. And she's the embodiment of that vengeance. But she's not a good person.
No.
Not by any stretch of the imagination. In the book, is she a good person? Or is she on the side of right in any way, shape, or form? Because she just literally will kill any Fry or Lannister that she sees. Whether they were responsible for anything or not.
You say even killed Pod. Well, spoilers.
Right.
Spoilers, what?
What?
Huh?
What?
We didn't say nothing, bro.
Huh?
Nothing happened.
She kills, what's his face? That sucks. I like him.
Yeah,
I liked
well.
Pod in the books as well. He's not comic relief like he is in the TV show, though.
But she kills Pod, huh? That straight up sucks.
I
Well,
don't
maybe.
remember her killing Pod.
Yeah, you don't remember that?
No.
It's when Brienne comes across her, and
Yes,
she
I
hangs
remember.
Pod, and then Brienne's
She
like,
hangs Brienne also.
no, she doesn't. No,
Yeah,
Brienne
she,
just screams. They never specify in the book that Brienne was hanged by the neck until dead.
they never saw that Pod was hanged by the neck until dead either.
I'm
They hang
pretty
the two of them
sure.
at the same time, and the scene ends without either of them actually being confirmed dead.
I thought they hung.
And at no point in time are either of them ever confirmed dead in any other chapter. Let's look it up, bro. I don't have my feast book right here with me, or I would look it up for you.
If you turn to chapter 5, verse 14, we'll look it up on the internet and get back to you.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm fairly positive Pod is not necessarily dead. He
It's
may be
possible.
dead, but I don't think so.
Mr. Martin can do whatever, so I mean,
Right.
anything's possible. Let's go ahead and do a big, giant leap over the wall into the north to Jojen, Bran, Hodor, and the
Okay.
chick.
And Mira.
I want to start off with my with this one just simply because I don't like I didn't read the book, so they need my opinion on it. At first, I thought the skeletons were cool. I didn't understand why they were there, and only there. I didn't get it, but I'm like, whatever. It's cool CG. I'll roll, right? And then when I questioned you, Roby, about what was happening, and I learned what was actually supposed to be going on this entire time, I was actually livid. I'm like, they had some of the coolest shit they could have done in the series with Cold Hands, with the Wraiths, with everything, and they just didn't do any of it.
Yeah, they dropped the ball big time with those guys.
Bro, but you had a sweet scene where Bran got captured by the Night's Watch it.
Right,
And crashed his teeth.
because
and
that
then
happened.
Saw
yeah.
John, but didn't talk to him. And then went on his merry way.
Right.
That's what you got instead.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we got that.
Yeah.
We needed to have that.
Well, they needed to put some extra titties in. And some more rape, because, we hadn't had enough rape yet. So,
That's true.
yes. I'm not a big fan of the fact that Jojen is dead.
Yeah.
In the books, Jojen is not dead, and there's actually quite a few fan theories as to whether or not Jojen is dead in the books or not. But he definitely makes it into the cave alive for some time.
Yeah.
In the books. That obviously isn't going to happen. And so clearly Jojen's character isn't going to be important any longer.
Well, the reason why they let Jojen die instead of getting him to the cave was because all his sweating would make it too damp inside.
That kid was always sweaty. Everywhere, all the time sweaty. It's like they're the far north. It's negative who knows what degrees outside, and this kid is sweating.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I really hated the fact that, I mean, cold hands aside, I really hated the fact that it made it look like Crashers was the halfway point between the far north, where the people, like the little children, in the
Right?
north, and so it's like, you see them, they cross the wall. Oh, it's cold. Oh no. Oh, that's cool.
Right.
We got captured by. Oh, we're here. It's totally here.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to see the Ravens lay waste to an entire army of White Walkers.
Yep.
And
They could have done so much cool stuff with Cold Hands.
Really could.
And he's one of those. Cold Hands is one of the most interesting characters in the story, I think, because we know almost nothing about him.
The only thing you know is that he's a crow, or was at one point.
Right. Because he wears all the black, he knows all the Night's Watch codes, he knows all that kind of stuff.
It makes me wonder, though,
Is he Benjen? What?
No.
I'm just kidding.
It doesn't make me wonder. Well, it seemed like it could be a real possibility until he was supposed to be 1,000 years old. So, but
Right.
It makes me wonder if, since they did not put him in, if he's going to ever show up ever again in the books.
I mean, it was kind of a big, he swoops in, saves their lives, and gets them to where they need to go. He knew exactly what was going on. So, I mean, at this point, I honestly don't think they're going to put him in.
They're not going to. I don't think they can at this point. I don't know what they do with him, because when you meet Cold Hands, you first meet Cold Hands with Sam and Gilly. He saves Sam and Gilly and actually gets them back across the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember when they came across the wall and they met met Bran and the rest of them in that broken down castle?
Yeah.
And Sam showed them the way to get across the wall and wouldn't go with him at Castle Black. They were supposed to meet Cold Hands at that point. And then Cold Hands literally guides them the rest of the way up north. And they have this long, arduous trek, which I get doesn't make exciting TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it felt like it was like a walk in the park almost.
It did.
They didn't struggle that bad. None of them looked like they were suffering that much.
Up until Jojen was getting stabbed in the belly. He looked like that.
Right, that looked like suffering. But that's alright, because the magic acorn guys killed him. So.
Yeah, it's the magic acorns.
Yeah, what? Come on, dude. Oh my gosh.
They're magic acorns, shut up.
I honestly had a Willow moment there for a little bit, whereas I swore she was throwing magic acorns.
I just expected her to be like, fireball, fireball. Because that's what I saw.
To go up there and be like, out of my way, Peck.
Right.
And then they introduce Blood Raven, the three-eyed crow. And I was positively underwhelmed by Blood Raven. Blood Raven's one of those fan-favorite characters for the book for a lot of people. He's not on my list of people who I'm a big fan of. But he's an ancient greenseer who's been living in the tree, basically, as part of the tree. Not as a dude sitting outside the tree, but as part of the roots grow through him, and he grows through the roots, stuff like that, But he's thousands of years old, and he was positively underwhelming, I think.
They just made him look like some old dude in a chair.
Right. But I think Bran's storyline has been pretty underwhelming for the most part in general.
Yeah.
In all the Game of Thrones episodes.
Well, a lot of the powers that Bran has been kind of underwhelmed. Honestly, I mean, the ward powers, you see them every now and then, but there's that one ward master. What do they call him?
Faramir Sixskins.
Yes, Sixskins.
One of the most badass wildlings.
Yeah, and where's he been at?
Nowhere. He's not really a major character, but you could throw him in. He
had a lot of
good mention
in the book, yeah.
Right. But they don't, so... And it's whatever. Faramir I liked Varmir too, but he's unnecessary. I get it. So we're gonna see what they end up doing there. We'll see next season. We had one scene with Daenerys.
Yeah, which yeah,
Yeah.
I
I'm
gotta
kind of glad they did that.
Bitch be strong.
Right, she fucking hulked out,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
She hulked
yeah.
out to pick up those gigantic collars of iron attached to gigantic heavy-ass chains and put them around the necks of her dragons. I'm like, she can't lift that.
No.
Yep, she's going to lift it by herself. Yep, she sure is. Yeah.
Well, right. I mean, these are chains that are heavy enough and big enough to hold dragons.
Right.
These aren't small little chains, and she has small, light little arms. So
Yeah, she's tiny.
sorry. I know.
Damn it.
I know. I kind of did it on purpose, but kind of didn't.
I'm so raged right now.
You should be. Anyway, I don't know. The whole I liked the scene with Daenerys as far as like her reaction and the guy's reaction as he's like presenting the bones and stuff. I thought that was good. I thought that was real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was really good.
And I love how everyone's like, "Well, her training up the dragons is such a big deal." I'm like, not really, because other than their existence, the dragons aren't really an important part of anything at this point.
They're not doing much.
Well, in the show, they've made it out to be very much like those are her kids in the show.
Right.
So the whole like she has to lock her children away.
Well, I get that this episode's all about like her being the breaker of chains, but then yet like allowing people to sell themselves back into slavery, you know, and chaining up her dragons or whatever, where she's no longer the breaker of chains. She's sort of like going against what she wants to be doing and all that sort of stuff. Which is an important part of her storyline in Marine, where she learns, like, some people just ain't cut out for the ruling game.
Well, I think she would have done much better if she kept Lord Friendzone around, just saying.
Oh, Lord Friendzone. I'm actually looking forward to Lord Friendzone next season.
Yes. I am too.
Yeah.
Which means that, we'll have to find other things to talk about on our podcast because you're not just going to be able to go off on rants forever.
No, I still will.
I don't know how.
I'm just gonna randomly bring it up and rant.
Oh, so what you mean to say is I'm going to randomly mute you?
Yes, possibly.
Well, there is another thing that I'd like to touch on too that I think they finally was Millicent's like sudden start of obsession for Jon Snow. Like you just see it.
She's getting those fuck me eyes over the fire.
Yeah. Because she's starting to have her doubts.
Yeah.
The whole Stannis scene was pretty cool.
Starting to have her doubts.
About Stannis Baratheon being...
See, I thought the Stannis scene was like...
Is that what that was?
I thought the Stannis scene was way overappreciated. Like, we had the opportunity to like show these like knights and like a massive army of wildlings. There was like 2 wildlings standing with Mance and Jon Snow, and then like Stannis' dudes riding around on horses.
Mm-hmm.
Where was everybody else at?
I didn't get the
feeling. Where
feeling.
were the giants? Where were the mammoths? Where was anything else? Did we only hire 2 extras for this shoot?
That's a good point.
I mean, I was underwhelmed by Stannis' arrival in general.
100,000 wildlings in a wildling army, and
and there's in the book there's a big ass battle and there's a lot of fighting and stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know, and half the wildlings run away and escape. And some of them get captured, blah, blah, etc. But in the book, Stannis sort of rides up. He's like, yo, what's up? I'm the man. And Mance is like, that's fine, but I'm not kneeling. He's like, kneel, bitch. No, I'm not kneeling. All right, then, let's all go home.
Yeah.
Let's all wrap it up and go into the wall.
What would you do, Jon Snow?
Right. Like, what would you do? Ask what Jon Snow's opinion is.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know that that whole Melisandre, like... looking over at Jon was her having doubts about Stannis. That's pretty interesting.
In Book 5, Melisandre is all about, like... Because, she looks into the fire to see visions.
Right.
And she starts only seeing visions of Jon Snow. And no longer visions of Stannis.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's almost like the god used her to get to Stannis to get to Jon.
Yeah.
I want to know more about this red god too eventually, but we'll have to
There's
save
not
that
much
for another-
out there.
I want to know if there are other gods who have power.
Like the
Because
seven.
the red god has power. Does the seven have power? Are they real gods, or is there only power like Christianity in our world in what they can convince their followers to do in their name?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the red god has magic. This is obvious. He's bringing people back to life. Melisandre's doing other crazy stuff. Now, not everything Melisandre does is real.
True. And she starts
Some
on
of
that,
that's-
too.
Some of that's fake shit, but
Yeah.
he obviously does some real stuff too. So, I wonder if there are other gods who have power. You know, and is there a great dark god out there?
Yeah, he's the baby.
Duh.
Duh.
I wouldn't even be surprised to see Bran end up on the wrong side of the final battle.
You think?
Evil Bran.
Really? Why is
You
that?
think so?
Evil Bran. I have my suspicions.
Well, that's interesting. Wow, dude.
Wait. Are you coming out of the? I'm not going to ask too much detail because we don't have time. But I'm going to say, is this because of shit the Blood Raven's teaching him, or is this just Bran kind of becoming an asshole?
It's just Bran being too young to have the power that he needs to have, and him abusing, or the power that he does have, and him abusing it, and that turning him dark, I think.
I see. Okay.
Because, let's face it, walking into Hodor is not a good thing.
That is not okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's super cool.
I didn't know it was a bad thing. I didn't realize this was a bad thing.
Hodor's another human. Like, walking into an animal is one thing. They're an animal. But taking over the mind and free will of another human is sort of another level of questionable
Oppression.
grayness.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Wait, Hodor's a human?
Yes, technically speaking.
Interesting.
I mean, saying that he's mentally handicapped makes him not a human is pretty fucked up, bro. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm
That is
saying is
pretty
the guy
much
Especially
doesn't
given
defend
your
himself.
own mental handicap.
All I'm saying is the guy doesn't even defend himself in the show at all, ever.
Right.
So,
Well, he's very simple. Even in
Which
the
makes
book,
him
he's very
obviously
simple.
stupider than an animal.
right.
But I get that part. But that doesn't make him not a human, and that doesn't make what Bran's doing okay. We all forgive him because they're Bran, and we want to see him do cool shit. Because he's the last Stark kid who can really do anything.
You keep saying that it's not okay, but I'm not really following. Is this something that is like talked about in the books, or is this something that you're just saying is not okay and that because you say so?
It's
This is
sort
an
of
important
touched,
distinction, by the way.
it's touched on in the books.
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
that's important. As long as this is like considered canon and not Roby's thoughts, which I'm not saying that you don't
But
have
it's
good
all.
thoughts.
This is mostly Roby's thoughts. I'm not gonna lie to you about that.
They don't go into
It's all
hard
my
detail.
It's all my conconcoction.
Okay,
It's all
They
just
don't-
my conjecture.
Well,
what
they
you're
don't go
saying
into.
working into humans is fine and you're wrong. That's what you're saying.
Well, I mean, he was gonna tell. I mean, how's it gonna be wrong other than morally? Because no one could stop you.
How's it gonna be wrong at all? I understand what you're talking about.
All right, fair enough.
To me, it's like an oppression. You're taking away the free will from somebody.
No, that's exactly what it is, and Nathan knows that. He just wants to
Yeah.
argue.
He's
I'm
chilling.
just not giving him that
He's
benefit
fighting.
right now. I'm going to shut him down by just not arguing.
By being wrong, way to go.
If that's how you would look at it.
That's just the way it is.
So Arya's on her way over to the other sea. We've locked up the dragons. Millicent has got her eyes fixed on Snow.
Snow.
Little Brandy Bran is in the tree.
Yep. Without
Sandor's-
Jojen, who got
yeah,
stabbed to death like a bitch.
By a hand. Like, I didn't even... I
Right.
think... Just like... Yeah.
I think it was
But-
attached to a skeleton, but
Skeleton was like, what's up, bro? It was very Evil Dead, if you ask me.
it was like, yeah,
That whole
skeletons
scene
were
was
super
very
Evil
Evil
Dead,
Dead.
like.
Yeah.
yeah.
So...
All right. Well, do you guys have anything else you want to go over? I think next week we have some E3 stuff I'd like to talk about. I know it's been over now for like a full week, but there are actually some interesting titles coming out that I think are interesting, including the next Dragon Age, as well as
Inquisition, yeah.
Yeah, Inquisition. Yeah, which I've heard a lot of interesting chatter on. So
I hear the chatter.
yeah, something I'll just
All
a
right.
little bit here is that if you decide to kill a lot of bears, you will make the bears go extinct from the world. It can happen.
That's awesome,
Oh.
actually.
Right,
That's pretty
yeah.
badass.
So
I
anyways,
would love to extinct the bears.
just a little food for thought. Do you guys have anything else?
No, it's
That's
about to start
pretty
storming over here, so now's as good a time as any.
All right.
It was raining earlier.
I've heard a couple bits of thunder while we were doing this, but anyways,
Nice.
guys, thanks for coming out. Hope you enjoyed it, and catch you next time.
Bye.
Later.